Good morning. Hope you're there. Yes, you are. Well, it's Jeffrey Paul, and it's Sunday. And you know what's exciting about Sunday? I can give you a little bit more in depth. You know, sometimes a 2-3 minute inspiration or a dose of encouragement every day, I really am blessed to do that. But I so often feel like I've shortchanged you, like there's more I can go and share with you in depth. And today, I hope that you have the time to watch and to share a more in-depth, very important message that we began to talk about this week. And you know, there's a couple of terms that are used, but this term is called the element of you becoming the author of your life. The author of your life. You know, the first part of your life, wherever that is, if you're 20 years old or 30 years old, your book has lots of stuff written in it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, your book, your life, your years, your days, your impressions, your character, your thinking, your imagery, everything has been written up to this point by others in many cases, by circumstances in many cases, heritage, family, friends, enemies, all the different circumstances of life have written the first part of your book. But now you have blank pages. And I want to share with you today the power of really becoming the author of your life. Now it's based on a proverb, and a proverb that is very powerful. The proverb is that as you think, God has created you in a way that anything is possible. Anything is possible by the faith in your process of thinking. For instance, if I have a false belief that I am never going to succeed, I will live most likely 99% of the time that lifestyle. How about you? You know what I'm talking about? But when I break, when I start rewriting the rest of my life starting today, I began to believe by faith, think by faith, speak by faith, and surround myself with those that will encourage and strengthen my new authorship of my life. You know, do you ever tell somebody, you know, I want to lose weight, or I want to start to exercise, or I want to do something good for my life? And you could possibly hear this, oh man, you've tried that 100 times. You're never going to get into that. You're never going to lose weight. You're never going to get exercise. Or another one that tries to accelerate you into, you know, a crash diet or an exercise program that you're just out there, way out there, that you just burn out before you even get to the place that you really wanted to get to. The key is, first, that you have to start to really know you have the power. This is where it begins. This is what today's lesson's about. You within you. And you've heard me say this if you watched even one of my inspirations. Beauty and change begins where? Within you. Within you. And within you, there's power, there's strength to do either incredible things with your life and your book of authorship of your life, or terrible things. Terrible things like, you know, not fulfilling the desires of your heart. Terrible things like not becoming all that you could be. Terrible things like not living the destiny that God created you to be. I say this with real soberness because it is a responsibility that God has given us with free will. That you have the opportunity to begin to believe and think and write your authorship of your life day by day, week by week, month by month. Sitting around complaining about it, sitting around and just thinking about it, wishing about it, doesn't change a thing. How many of you know that? It doesn't change a thing. I mean, you can wish upon a star, and it's not going to change your life. But if you really are looking for change, if you're looking for balance, if you're looking for wholeness, if you're looking for relationship, if you're looking for abundance, if you're looking for happiness, do you know how many people are seeking happiness and it's already right here? Now let's talk about a couple of exercises, just 3, that will help you begin to author your life. And you no longer, in one of my previous teachings, you're no longer the victim of life as it spins through, but you're the author. Now see, if you were an actor and you came into a role, you would take and read the role and the script, and you would begin to develop that character, and you would develop that state. Remember that word, because I really want to come back to it. You develop that state of mind that represents the character that you're playing in the book, in the movie, in the story. Now, you know, there are some of the greatest actors that take on the character of that particular role, that make us believe and give them the Oscar for doing an incredible job, that we believe that's the person that is really not the person who is acting, but the person we're watching and the story's about. Well, that's how you and I have to begin. We have to begin first by writing down, the pen, the paper. We need to begin writing down who, not we want to be, who I am, with your hope, your desire, your expectation, and all limitations crashed down. All limitations crashed down. Who are you? I am precious. I am loved. I am prosperous. You need to begin to write the script. You following me so far? Once you've done that, and you can't take it for the big gorilla or the elephant, you got to take the elephant diet and take one piece at a time. So work with me on this and watch it start to change your life, and then apply it to the bigger picture of your whole life. Take an area of your life and begin to write out what it would look like if it was perfectly as you would dream it to be, desire it to be, whether it's your weight, whether it's your finance, whether it's your attitude, take something small enough that you can describe what it looks like in a first person. I am happy when I wake up in the morning. I am joyful wherever I go. I am ready to just bring joy into the room of everybody around me. Once you've written that, then I want you to take a moment. Now follow me. Take a moment and become aware of that state if it were and is going to be real. For instance, how many times have you imagined, ladies, you probably could relate to this more, if you would imagine yourself meeting that perfect man, and you could imagine the marriage ceremony, and you can imagine the honeymoon, and you create this beautiful story in your mind. Has anybody done that out there, male or female? You know, you really have created an imagination of a beautiful story. But then we just set it on the shelf like a book for someone else to read, rather than making it and believing it and thinking it into our own life. Now, why do I say that to you? What is this all going to take you to? The word state. Remember I said to keep that in mind? If you can remember what it felt like to be happy, if for only one time in your life, if you can go back to remember that state, how you felt, the energy, the face expression, if you can remember it, it's like a great actor in a movie. They practice the state of that character. So imagine this. You get up this morning and you're grumpy. Imagine this. You get up in the morning and you have the thoughts that nothing's going to go right. Imagine this, that you start to think about what probably is going to go wrong, like it's going to rain today and I'm not going to be able to do this. And doesn't that happen to a lot of us early in the morning before we even get into any state whatsoever? Well, you are in a state. You're in a state of writing a tragedy instead of a wonderful love story or a happy story. So here's what you need to do. You have to identify when your state is driving you into the thoughts that are driving you down, and then turn and begin to fully act in the state that you want. For instance, if you're unhappy, remember how it feels to be happy and live it in the moment. Go in the mirror, smile. Try this right now, looking at me. Right now you're looking at me. Smile. Just smile. Please smile. Really do this as an exercise, even though I can't see you, you think, but smile. How do you feel when you do that? How do you feel when you just instantly make the muscles, the 14 muscles in your face, to lift up and smile? And now stretch that smile. Really brilliantly make your eyes into the smile. Feel that state. Feel that state of mind and emotion. Do you know that there's chemistry going off in your body that's causing the body to say, this must be the way we've got to feel? And God has created it so it really starts to create what Proverbs says. As a person thinks and feels and senses, they become. It is no more complicated than that. Do you know that great athletes, when they get in the state of they're going to slump, it's a state. Let's say it's a baseball player or a basketball player. They are at the highest level of performance and they get into a slump. They can't make the three-pointer. They can't do anything but strike out. But just weeks or months before that, they were at incredible records of abilities. What happened? They fell into a negative state of mind. And every time it happened, it confirmed the false belief. It's false belief that I strike out. Every time I get up to pin, I strike out. Look at the stats. I'm striking out. They bring in counselors and coaches to break that state. To break that state. And what they do, just as an example, to a basketball player that just can't hit the foul shot. He shoots the foul shot over and over again until he makes it. When he makes that one, they create an impact. They do. They create an impact to trigger him, to bring his state to that moment. And they have him do it again. But they ask him to be in that state. Do you know that has changed the majority of major athletes? Now, I want you to understand that because there's another science that goes behind this. Not only just the biblical, but the biblical is backed up by science. In an Olympic team, German coach, diving team in the Olympics, they took half the team and they gave them an exercise to sit and not dive, not go in the water, not go up to the high dive, but sit and become aware and imagine the dive. Imagine the feeling of the perfect dive. Imagine the perfect jump, perfect entry into the water. They did this for 4 or 5 months. Do you know they took more gold that year in the Olympics than any other time in that country? The study was done because of the fact that the creation within God's creation, us, has the ability, as Proverbs says, as you think, so it shall be. Now, this is not positive mental attitude, because that's a process of just exercise, not a bad one by no means. But if you can't get into the state, it's just like you hearing something and it goes in one ear and out the other. Maybe for the moment you feel better, but you don't change your state. To change your state, you must really live in the moment, in that state that you want to be in. Does that make sense to you? Does it give you an ability to understand how to change and start to write your story that has you on the front of the cover and has you as through the pages of every day, being who you want, going where you want to go, being with who you want to be with, and being in the emotions and the mental, the physical abilities, as well as the spiritual level that you really desire to be. It doesn't come by working harder. I'm sorry to tell you. All the self-help books are good and they're wonderful and they have a principle just like positive mental attitude. But until you start to understand you have the power within you, gifted by God, to write your destiny, your story, your hopes, your wishes. Because you know what you are doing, whether you believe it or not? You're writing the story no matter what you're living. You're writing it. And if it's because of John made me do it, and the devil made me do it, and my mom didn't love me, and yada, yada, no matter what the excuses are, that you're living the life that you're living, and this is kind of sobering, and I apologize, not. I want to see you change. That's why I'm your coach here, to coach you and help you and share you. But you're writing every day your story. It's time to close that chapter and begin a new chapter in your life of a new state that you begin to exercise this principle of truly beginning to change your state of mind by the power of God within you that will transform. That's Romans 12:2. You've heard me say this many times. Transformed life comes from the renewing of your mind. Are you following me? So if you tie Romans 12:2 and you tie the proverb that says, as a man or woman thinks, they shall become, and you understand that it's God's will and his way and his desire and his power that he's given you. And 2 Peter says he's giving you divine power to be able to live with this. But you can go left or right. You can choose tragedy story and drama, or humor, romance, and excitement. But it's time for you to go for the Oscar. It's your life. You're the author. You'll be the actor. And you'll be able to enjoy all the rewards that comes from a state of mind that sees yourself, not necessarily as it is today, but as faith, Hebrews 11:1 and Romans 4 says. It says, believing in what? Do not see yet, but certain. In the state of consciousness of awareness of what you are and going to be as the chapters and pages of your story that you're writing begin to take hold of your state in your mind, your heart, and your life. Does that make sense? Give me this in comments back. I want to hear whether this was over the head of your consciousness awareness. I want to know whether you want more of this depth of understanding and teaching, how the biblical principles of God, not just motivation, inspiration, and self-help, but the biblical principles of the strength and power of the wisdom of all time applies in our life today, and how it impacts your life to transform your life by the renewing of your mind. Let me know if this is what you want, because I want to pour into you what I know can transform your life. That's my mission. And I want you to know. I want you to know that you know that you know that the love of God has been given to you with the power and the divine purpose to live abundant life. Not to struggle, not to crawl, not to cry, not to be unhappy, but to be joyful. Does that mean there's not circumstances and situations that we don't like so many times? No. That's real life. That's real life. But the ultimate life. Dave Martin, a good friend of mine, speaks all over the world. Dave Martin has the ultimate life lesson. He uses that terminology all the time because of the same message I'm sharing with you. It's about when you get a grip that you are the author of your book, your story, your life, divinely appointed by God when he gave you the pen of decision and free will and the ability to take captive every thought so that you can be transformed no matter where you were born, no matter when you were born, no matter what bad or good you've done, that you have the power to transform by the renewing of your mind. So let me just review real quick. First, identify that you are ready to start a new chapter in your book. You're going to turn it from tragedy into the happy ending story from this day forward. Number 2, that God has given you that power to think and to process thoughts and to take captive false thoughts and false images that have come from your history and to transform them by the renewing of your mind. That's number 2. And number 3 is so important that you begin to practice and implement putting yourself into the state of mind as an actor that is able to read the script, put themselves in the state of happiness, joy, prosperity, confidence, boldness, whatever it might be, and allow it to transform you without even effort. Isn't that good news? We have even seen science, and I've read so many elements of health and wellness, that not only does this work in weight loss beyond dietary intake or lack of, It has been in healing from cancer to acne. The process of your thinking and state of mind, because of the power that God has invested in us, given us freely to use as we choose, is there to do all the things that we pray for, we wish for, we want, we desire, whatever is already all within you. So let me know your thoughts. Share this. Share this. Go to my little commentary in the notes here, and please join our YouTube, because if you want to see this again, it'll be on YouTube tomorrow. I just want you to know, it's important for me to know. Did you hear this? Did it get in? Are you aware of what great gifts and power you have as the author of your life, your book, your story, from this day forward? Have a beautiful day. I can't wait to see you tomorrow, because, man, you guys are going to be writing new stories. So I'm really excited about that. To all of you that are on, I've just seen the names popping up. I haven't been able to catch all of them. I've got some exciting things that we're talking about doing. We're talking about doing a live stream workshop where we actually will be doing a live hour to 2 hour program to really help you do just about what we talked about. How do you put yourself in a state? How do you journal? How do you get closer to God? All the things that you write to me in your comments that you desire. So keep in tune and keep me with your comments on how you're doing. Give me your thumbs up. Give me those little hearts. I love those little hearts and the smiley faces. And understand that today is the new story and the new chapter in your life, if you'll take this to heart and allow it to transform all the other chapters in your life and begin a new story for your life. Have a beautiful day. And remember, beauty and change begins within. I love you.